Remember this video? I pinpointed many issues with current Noobs in combat and why it is going in a wrong direction. But what if I tell you it got worse? And yes, this is truly end of an era of Noobs in combat, as it might slowly suicide. Okay, but why such a dark opening? Probably the darkest I had ever created, even in unreleased drafts. Let's quickly rewind to the beginning. 20 October 2025, 10 months ago. Noobs in Combat released update 5.8 after a long break. It wasn't anything too extraordinary, but it brought some needed additions and some fun. Despite update not being anything shocking or amazing, Roblox algorithm picked up and Noobs in Combat got a short-lived spike of players, all the way to 2000, which is 10 times more than usual. And it was a great time, I had fun. Unfortunately, likely for the last time. With absence of lead developer due to personal duties, the game was managed by other developers, primarily Vulkan, who started making very controversial balance changes after this update. And I won't talk about this now, as I already did a month ago, but his changes are really poor for the game, as seen by most of the community. Another part of the story is the fact that Epic Noob was allowed to make Noob test server, which I had made 2 videos on, which is basically a modified version of the game with some extra features. Players try out and large part of the community tried it and liked it. And remember this, with Anon gone, he basically called it quits and selected new person to manage the game, obviously from the existing staff team, and he selected Vulkan for our demise. Yes, the same person who has been making mutually disliked balance changes by the community has gotten executive power in this very established game, and back to present day. Vulkan has announced what's to come in the game, and oh boy, it doesn't look bright. Take a look. The game has been handed to Vulkan, and on next update he will be its owner, as Anon is retiring, which is understandable, and all executive decisions will fall under Vulkan. Game will be moved to a new Roblox Group. Anon still plans on adding his last own update, 5.11, which is great, we are waiting. And 2 weeks after, Vulkan is planning to release his very own 6.0 update, the Overhaul update. And this doesn't sound bad until we get to why it is bad. Here he apologizes for balance changes and says that they will make sense after his overhaul, which I absolutely do not buy. After that we got some empty words on what's to come in his updates, which we can't really rate without knowing the specifics. So it's funny, this was recorded before the 6.0 test server, and it really is that bad. There is barely anything new, just 4 new units, nothing else. Then Vulkan talks about the new development team, and this is where things get spicy. We have some old developers which are all doing great job behind the scenes. But then we have the controversial part. Just to note, I don't have anything to these people, and this isn't meant to be a harassment, this is just pure criticism of bad team management in my opinion. We have a lead programmer who has not really been involved into the game much, and is only aware of it for 3 months, based on his Discord activity. Obviously, under directive of Vulkan and his ideas. We have an SFX designer who joined the Noobs in Combat server literally the day this was announced, that he became a developer. So this is really bad. We have a composer, which doesn't really matter in long term. As long as he makes good music, it's good. And then we have another programmer, who is meant to be a co-owner, and is meant to help Vulkan with executive decisions. The problem is that he joined the announcement server literally a week after this announcement, and previously there is very little to find about him in the community. He also has dating allegations, so I don't know, man. What a team. Masterpiece. These people are gonna work on this game day and night and will make a great update. Obviously this is a sarcasm. So we got a bunch of new people into the game with already established community, who likely only got selected because Vulkan knows them. Okay, so let's go next. It seems developers of the game have some kind of drama and they can't select the style of characters in this game. And this is the model suggested by Vulkan and supported by his newly selected cast. Obviously, the model is good, but it's not a Noobs in Combat model. Older developers prefer more classic Noobs in Combat style, which is liked by the community. And Vulkan doesn't like that. They made a poll, and Roblox design completely outclassed Vulkan's design. When he saw his design is losing, he decided to create what he calls compromise. However, this model just changed the color of shirt and legs, which doesn't even look good. I don't know how is this a compromise. Then he submitted another idea, and yes, this is a compromise now, but people still don't like it. I still don't like it though. What's worse, Vulkan's decisions in past have been bad. It's clear that his goal is to erase what current Noobs in Combat looks like and make a literally new game from scratch, almost. Remember that he wanted to replace difficulty modes with modifiers and basically rework everything, which he still will do. Another thing that pissed me off is that Vulkan is forcefully closing Noob TS server from the public. He takes away this fun that people had while Noobs in Combat main game was descending into darkness and chaos. And it is very likely that he does this to maximize amount of people that gonna play his badly executed 6.0 update, and only because of money, because you see, Noobs in Combat always functioned in a way that there wasn't any noticeable microtransactions. And now with Vulkan having to pay developers instead of having developers who do it for love of the game and community, he has to pay, he has to make some sort of money from this game. And this is most definitely going to change going forward. We will see more monetization, which is not good for the game. And this is one of the ways he wants to achieve it, by closing Noob TS server. Furthermore, expect public test server and April Fool's archives to be closed as well. However, it's not confirmed yet. But before we get to the ending, there is one more thing I want to talk about. When it comes to this situation, the way how Vulkan treats community members just looks bad at time and very toxic. Like here, Vulkan calling a skill issue on people for complaining on objectively bad balance changes. Or here Vulkan is just throwing a toxic sounding "have fun" with a dot at the end, just saying when they just say that they will make own game to replicate the fun they had on Noob TS server. This is very toxic, this is very selfish, this is very narcissist, and all of these things. There is more of it if you look for it, but I won't pinpoint more of it. I'm moving to the third and last part. So Vulkan released 6.0 test server, and first thing you see is broken UI. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about this, but for sake of this thing, let me present you so-called the largest update in Noobs in Combat history that will dethrone 4.0. 4 new maps that will not come out in 6.0. Bunch of new community maps that weren't supposed to be published. 7 new units, which only 4 will be released, and here is the list. Troopers, which already existed. Rangers, which they copied Riflemen and changed range to 2. Marksman, they copied Rangers and also copied radio perk from Rifleman. Combat Engineer, which already existed but they tweaked the stats and added Sapper Heal. Anti-air tank, which already existed. Some battery, which already existed. Radar track, which already existed. And a bunch of balance changes, which many will dislike. Yippee! Bunch of air units that won't be included in 6.0, and that is all for this update. This update is smaller than 5.8 and they call it 6.0, and it doesn't seem like there is much else coming to this. Maybe we will get reworked lobby UI. I'm disappointed. This is a point of no return for this game that I really liked. I've been here for such a long time, I think like 4 years, and unfortunately the line has been crossed way too deep and point of no return was reached a long time ago. Everything can be concluded with this one message from Vulcan, and nobody stops me or has stopped me from getting what I want for a long time. Which deserves a moment of silence, because that means Vulcan will get everything he wants in the end, because there is no one to stop him anymore. He may resist, but sometimes you need to know what's worth fighting for. And this fight is not worth it. About the channel, I don't know. I will probably make a 5.11 review, and then maybe 6.0, and then drop towards doing something else on this channel. I don't know what yet. Thank you for watching, and stay safe, my friend.